It's been 6 years since the launch of Windows 10, and although it's a far from perfect operating system, it's safe to say that it's been one of Microsoft's better versions of Windows, keeping in line with the infamous good bad Windows launch cycle. Well, it appears Microsoft is dead set on breaking that cycle with the launch of Windows 11, and it feels as though their strategy for breaking that cycle was to tread lightly and to avoid any bold innovations. As a result of this, we're left with a Windows upgrade which is one big fat meh. And it would appear that the majority of you would agree. So in this video, I'm going to give you my take on Windows 11. So starting off with the design, it's a clean, modern, and minimalistic look, which is what I think any OS should be. There's a prominent theme of frosted glass and curved edges. Overall, I think it looks pretty good. But for the most part, it's not a drastic change from Windows 10, which I think is a good thing. Now, there's a few comments floating around suggesting that Microsoft copied design elements from macOS. I wouldn't entirely agree with that. I think for the most part, the design looks and feels like Windows. All in all, I think Microsoft did a great job in not forcing a drastic change into the design. They did just the right amount to make the design look refreshed, but not too much that we end up with another Windows 8. Heck, I think I'll even give the centered taskbar a chance. On the productivity front, Microsoft introduced Snap Layout, which allows you to easily organize the apps on your screen and is tailored to whatever screen setup you have. I really like this feature. I'm always working on dual screens and I'm constantly shuffling a bunch of windows around, so I welcome this feature with open arms. Dear Apple, please bring something like this to the Mac. Windows 11 can also remember your Snap layouts with Snap Groups. So in case you decide to procrastinate for an hour, you can go back and find your work layout just as you left it. Yeah, it's a nice touch. Now, if you're a laptop user and use an external monitor, well now every time you dock and undock, you don't need to worry about losing your app layout. Windows will remember your app layout, and when you plug back in, will bring them right back to where you left them. Another feature aimed at improving productivity is desktops. You can now have customized desktops which can be tailored to whatever it is you're doing on your PC. Whether it's work, entertainment, or gaming, you can create as many desktops as you like. At first I thought this was a great idea, but then the more I thought about it, the more I felt like it would just nurture chaos, especially for people who have desktops that look like this. Imagine having to sift through each of your desktops, trying to find that one file you downloaded. Could be a nightmare. Perhaps Microsoft has a solution for this, but they didn't really do a good job of showcasing the feature in detail. Windows 11 updates are now 40% smaller in size, and will now tell you how long the installation will take. Finally. Teams is now directly integrated into Windows. Ah yes, Teams. I personally never used Teams, and the one time that I did use Teams was because an ex-colleague of mine at work, she forced our team to use it for a workshop, and guess who she used to work for? Microsoft. Besides her, I honestly don't know anyone else who uses Teams, and I certainly don't plan on using it in the future. But hey, for those of you who do use Teams, I guess it's a good thing. And while we're on the topic, did any of you catch this glitch during the event? So first off, why is the last message all the way up there? And why is this being covered by the text box? Is this sloppy motion design work, or is Teams just buggy like that? I digress. Widgets. Microsoft has brought back widgets with a nice and refreshing new look. If I'm honest, I feel as though widgets became obsolete on PCs the day smartphones became popular. I have all the information I need at a glance on my smartphone, my tablet, and my smartwatch. Having it on my desktop or my laptop just feels like a distraction I don't need. But hey, if you do like widgets, the option's there for you. I just hope Microsoft doesn't try and shove it down our throats. Kind of like they do with Bing. They already tried forcing that news and interest widget to your taskbar in the latest Windows 10 update, and as you can see on Google Trends, people loved it. Seriously, you'd think Microsoft would take a hit. Now, if you're a tablet user, Windows 11 includes all kinds of improvements for usability. They've included gestures, dictation, and now you can do all kinds of funky things with the stylus. Wow, technology. Oh, and when you rotate your tablet,
and when you rotate, not only is it smooth,
the animations are buttery smooth, apparently. On the gaming front, Microsoft introduced a feature called Auto HDR. I personally think this will only come in handy on older games. All the latest gaming engines are more than capable enough of producing graphics with as much dynamic range as they feel necessary. Having Windows bump it up more artificially, I don't know, makes me feel uncomfortable. But Microsoft, feel free to prove me wrong. But what I am excited about is a new feature Microsoft call Direct Storage. With direct storage, games can load assets to the GPU faster, reducing load times and improving overall performance. Now, one of the bigger announcements Microsoft made was Android apps coming to Windows via the Amazon store. Now, I think this is a great move by Microsoft, but I'm just struggling to think of a use case for myself. I mean, I guess it could be handy for social media apps such as TikTok or Instagram, which have a poor experience on browsers. But honestly, if I wanted to jump on Instagram or TikTok, I'd rather just pick up my phone and do it. Is it just me, or is this feature a little bit overhyped? Which Android apps are you guys excited about using on Windows? Let me know. Now, Microsoft mentioned during their event that Android apps will run on Windows using Intel Bridge technology, leaving AMD users confused about whether or not it will work on their systems too. Well, fear not. Intel recently confirmed that Android apps will also work on AMD and ARM devices too. I guess the big question now is, will the performance be the same? On the topic of compatibility, Microsoft is claiming that Windows 11 will be its most secure operating system yet, but that added security comes with a catch. Windows 11 will only work on PCs which support TPM 2.0, which stands for Trusted Platform Module. So depending on how old your system is, your current computer may not meet the hardware requirements for Windows 11. Now, I only just upgraded my PC 6 months ago, so naturally I checked to see if my motherboard supported this thing called TPM 2.0. And according to the manufacturer of my motherboard, it doesn't, which really pissed me off. I mean, how could the computer only purchased 6 months ago not be compatible with Windows 11? It's just ludicrous. So I double checked this by downloading Microsoft's PC Health Check app. If you want to try it out yourself, I'll leave a link in the description below. This app will tell you if your current PC's hardware meets the minimum requirements needed for Windows 11. Well, after running the check, I got confirmation that my PC was not compatible due to the lack of TPM 2.0. But they also mentioned to check that TPM 2.0 is enabled. What the heck does that mean? So I clicked to learn more, and I learned that Microsoft would like me to purchase a new PC which is Windows 11 compatible. Really helpful. Thanks, Microsoft. Now, after doing a bit of research, a few people online recommend that you check your BIOS settings to make sure that TPM isn't disabled, because in most cases, it is. This is probably what Microsoft was referring to before. But with the manufacturer of my motherboard already telling me that TPM wasn't supported, I wasn't getting my hopes up. So I restarted my computer, went through my BIOS, and what do you know? The damn thing does have TPM 2.0. I just needed to activate the damn thing. I mean, what an absolute mess. Can you imagine how many people are doing this compatibility check and are being told incorrectly that their hardware isn't compatible when it actually is? Ugh, it's just silly. Microsoft needs to address this ASAP. So yeah, that's Microsoft's big update for Windows. A refreshed, modern new look to the user interface, coupled with a handful of lackluster new features. I mean, seriously, out of all the new features Microsoft announced, the one I'm most excited for is snap layouts. That's just sad. It makes me feel as though Microsoft is afraid to innovate after failing so many times, so kind of held off on Windows 11 for fear of getting themselves into another Vista situation. But this begs the question, why go back on the whole Windows 10 is the last version of Windows unless they had something more profound to offer us? I mean, I guess I could have lived with a slightly uninspired update, but then they had to go and throw this TPM compatibility nightmare at us too. But hey, this is just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Also, was there a specific feature you guys were hoping would make it to Windows 11? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.